Welcome to Wexford GAA TV. In tonight's programme we head west with the camogie girls, the under-21 Leinster semi-final, the hurling qualifiers, and we catch up with the senior footballers as they prepare to take on Dublin. But first, let's take a look back at the minors in Parnell Park.
Wexford's minor hurlers travelled to Parnell Park on Saturday last in a bid to make amends for their opening round 5-point defeat to the Dubs. They opened with promise as Dara Pepper's long ball in was almost connected with by Joe Coleman. At the other end of the field, Conor Furman had his hands full with the lively Con O'Callaghan from Dublin, but his first chance was struck wide. Ballygarrett clubman Cathal Dunbar hit this line ball in, but again the Dublin defence thwarted the attack. Dublin points had outnumbered Joe Coleman's pointed frees, but this Dara Pepper point in the 18th minute tied things up at 4 points apiece. Dublin were clinical under the puckouts. The hard work of Rian McBride for the Dubs led to this Chris Bennett point. It was a low-scoring affair, but a free-flowing one too. Here, Aaron Maddock's shot in towards Niall Hughes was stopped by the Sky Blues. But Wexford hunted in packs all over the field and would soon prevail. Mark McCallion was dispossessed as he tried to emerge for Dublin. Joe O'Connor set up Sam Kelly for this 24th minute point. The sides were level on 6 points apiece. Wexford were the domineering outfit in this game now. Improvement was evident as they entered the game with victories over Meath and Offaly. This Dara Pepper point gave Wexford the lead. Goal chances mightn't have been abundant in the game, but this Chris Bennett shot just went wide. Wexford goalie Darragh Hughes was needed in the second half when he heroically denied a bullet from Con O'Callaghan. Wexford employed a two-man full forward line, and this allowed Dara Pepper to win vital possession around the centre field area. This Jake Furman point put Wexford 2 points ahead. A Chris Bennett point for Dublin narrowed the half-time gap to just a point, with Wexford leading by 9 points to 8. Cathal Dunbar got the second half off to a perfect start for Wexford. It took just 8 seconds for him to put 2 points between the sides. Joe Coleman's pointed frees put Wexford ahead by 13 points to 10 on 39 minutes. But Dublin were resilient. Sean Ryan claimed this puck out to hint at what could come, but Matthew Oliver's shot was a wayward one. Rowan White's line ball mightn't have resulted in much instant success, but it did lead to an inspirational score for Wexford. Far from his position of cornerback, Ben Edwards had the crowd in awe of his 47th minute point. Wexford still led by 3. But that point was answered well by Dublin substitute Owen Conroy, who landed this fine point. In the 59th minute, Dublin were ready to pounce. Sean Gray claimed the puck out and play progressed downfield. Sean Ryan's challenge on Aaron Maddock was deemed to be legal, and from that, Owen O'Connell cut the gap to 1 point. The home side then went about establishing parity. Jonathan Tracy's puck out was caught by Owen McHugh, and Dublin's workhorse Rian McBride made it all square for the 5th time of the game. The subsequent puck out was vital, and Cormac Moore had the right idea when he had a punt at goal. It was helter-skelter for both sides, but the fateful strike from super sub Owen O'Connell pierced the hearts of the purple and gold. The loss, on a full-time scoreline of 17 points to 16, might have been devastating, but it was a brilliant performance from the Wexford men. Wexford senior camogie squad opened the 2014 Liberty Insurance Camogie Championship with a trip to Athenry, where they took on reigning champions Galway and led from the off with an Ursula Jacob point. Galway soon struck back with an Emma Kilkenny point from the left flank. The game continued to be a nip and tuck affair, and when Shelley Keogh won the puck out, she found Brie Gordon, who edged Wexford in front by 4 points to 3 with around 17 minutes on the clock. At the other end of the field, after Aoife Callanan had been blocked by Karen Atkinson, Galway regained possession, which culminated in an equalising point for Niamh Kilkenny. A long-range free from Teresa Manton ended up with Kilkenny again, who struck the post this time. Aoife Donoghue was impeded as she tried to break through on goal. The subsequent penalty was parried over the bar thanks to a Mags Darcy save. Wexford reasserted their dominance from there till the half's end. A pair of Ursula Jacob pointed frees and this Shelley Keogh point put Wexford ahead by 7 points to 6 at half time. Wexford reopened with a brilliant set piece of play. Ursula Jacob showed terrific vision as she played the ball back to the influential figure Josie Dwyer, who pointed. Dwyer deservingly claimed the Player of the Match award after the game. Galway injected energy into their attacking force at half-time in the form of substitute Orla McGrath, a daughter of two-time All-Ireland winning Galway hurler Michael Hopper McGrath. Orla kept Galway in touch with this effort. Even though Galway were persistent in defence, Wexford impressively jinked the ball around and eventually claimed points like this one from Ursula Jacob to put the visitors ahead by 2 points. That lead of 2 was made a 5-point advantage as Ursula Jacob dropped the ball in from a free, and a touch from Fiona Rochford gave Wexford their first goal. After Niamh McGrath had pointed for Galway, Katrina Parrick won possession far from her usual corner forward position. She rode the tackle and found Kate Kelly, who then picked out Brie Gordon, who pointed. The tour de force of Wexford was proving to be too much for Galway as they led by 110 to 8 points. But then came the Galway fight back. The home side's captain, Lorraine Ryan, won possession in the half-back line and passed the ball on to Noreen Cohen. Cohen found number 23 Brenda Haney, and in-rushing super sub Orla McGrath was on hand to finish the ball to Mags Darcy's net. With around 15 minutes remaining, Wexford now led by just a point. Josie Dwyer's second point gave Wexford a narrow 2-point lead. After Niamh McGrath had rounded off her tally of 7 place balls, Galway began to hunt for an equaliser. While Shauna Sinnott made a great interception, the home side eventually broke through as full forward Aisling Connolly pointed. With time running out, it was all square at 1:11 apiece.
I think we hurled very well for most of the game. We were on top. We stayed a point or two ahead for most of the game, and I suppose about halfway through the second half they maybe get on top of us for 10 minutes there, and when they came back level they got a chance to get a goal, and I think Mags pulled off a great save and we went up the field and luck turned to us and we got a goal and a point, and I think it was very close all the way until that very end point, and it was great to get a bit of luck and come out here with a win.
After that, Wexford's captain Kate Kelly grabbed a lucky goal from a free that came from a long way out. Ursula Jacobs' 7th point assured Wexford of a 2-12 to 1:11 victory.
The penalty and the save at half-time, these could have had major impacts on the game, but having a keeper, an excellent keeper like Mags Darcy behind us, who made 2 powerful saves, I feel this drove the team on and even made us more determined.
Galway set up, they packed their defence, they pulled their midfielders back, and we probably at times in the game struggled with it a little bit. But the physicality is something we spoke about before the game. We expected it and we knew that Galway were always going to bring a big physical presence to the game. But I think we matched them, with the physicality and their gameplay once we got to grips with it.
So, the next day we know we're going to have a tough battle against Cork. They're going to be a very physical team. They're going to be very good hurlers. I suppose there wasn't much between the two teams when we played each other in the league, and they were maybe missing a couple of key players, and so were we. So I would expect a very physical and tough game the next day. We probably have things to improve on for our performance in 2 weeks' time in Wexford versus Cork.
Fantastic performance here tonight in Wexford Park. Wexford beat Offaly convincingly. They're now going to meet Dublin in the Leinster final in 2 weeks' time, and now we'll catch up with some of our players. Conor, a great win tonight. You scored a fantastic first half goal to lift the team and the crowd at a vital time. Can you tell us anything about the goal?
Well, Jack O'Connor just, I suppose, was in a bit of trouble and put a high ball in, and a few of the boys were on the break, so I just thought if I got my hand on it then I'd be able to just get in, and other than that I just was thinking about shortening up and flicking it in, but it was too tight, so I just decided to put my foot to it and drive it as hard as I could. So
yeah, a couple of minutes after that, another long ball in caused consternation. You broke the ball. Reece nearly ended up getting another goal. The quicker the ball probably into you, the better. Yeah,
well, there was a lot of space in there as well, so that helped an awful lot as well. So the more ball that went in, obviously the more hassle their backs were and the more pressure that we were putting on. So eventually I put Reece in for one ball as well, so it was good. There was a lot of space there to get them balls across. So
Jack hit a nice ball in there and Conor flicked it on. He was out in front nice and he flicked it on lovely, and it kind of ran past Kevin and his man, and thankfully I made the run at the perfect time and got onto it, and sure buried it in the end, thank God.
I think your run typifies the attitude that our forwards had in the first half, Reece. We worked very hard. The harder we worked, obviously, the more pressure the Offaly backs were under, and they were under severe pressure in the first half. Jack, very good first half performance. We took our foot off the pedal in the second half, but we have to be happy that we're in a Leinster final.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the aim coming in here today. We got a bit of a kick in the ass there last year again, Antrim, and we didn't want that to happen here tonight. So our focus was on the first half, and we said we'd regrouped then at half time, and I think our first half performance was very good.
Yeah. Garrett Foley was sent off. Wexford looked under pressure, but we did our best hurling actually after he got sent off.
Yeah, I think the response from the lads was great. All you could hear around the pitch was next ball, we have to win the next ball, and I think we did get a score off the next ball, so that was vital for us now to respond such a positive way to that.
Liam, a great win tonight. Your performance at full back was instrumental in our victory.
Yeah, I thought we did quite well back in the full back line and the half back line, and we just drove it on from there. and we kept on going. I know I got a bit sloppy there at the end, but that was always going to happen, so we kept on driving on and we got a good win after.
Liam, you've gone straight from minor into senior panel. How was that transition for you? Most people go from minor to under 21 and then to senior. You've gone straight from minor to senior.
Yeah, it's been a bit of experience, all right. It's been tough, all right, and you wonder what are you doing to yourself, but I'm absolutely loving every minute of it, and I can't wait to get more even of it. So it's going to be, I hope it's going to be a good year for us.
Yeah, you probably don't notice when you're on the field to play, but when you get the ball, you seem to rise the crowd. You know, you remind me of Darragh Ryan of old, and a lot of people are comparing you to Darragh Ryan.
Yeah, I heard that a lot now, but I don't think I'm up to Darragh Ryan standard yet, but hopefully get there.
There's a great belief in the setup, there's a great ability in the guys that are there. They've come through minor and all and been unlucky, and we're trying to get the belief that they are as good as anything that's in the country. And when they work hard, we saw in the first half, and even with a man down, that when they work hard, they're a serious team. When the work rate dropped off in the second half, and I suppose the game in ways was over, but when you see what Kilkenny and Galway did last weekend, we tried not to have that complacency there and keep them going. But when they work hard and all, there's some serious ability to their play and combination play, and some of the scores they got when the pressure was on in the first half was very good, and we would be very pleased with that.
Yeah, you're obviously working on their work ethic, and you know, their hooking, their hassling and their blocking, you know, was very evident looking at the game tonight.
Well, you see all the teams that are successful now, that's what it is. Go to Clare and all that, it's not rocket science. It's the team that works hard, generally gets the benefits of it. And when you have guys of the ability that we have there at the moment, there's some serious hurling talent with the guys there. We haven't had forwards for a long time, I'd say. Such a group of forwards, the calibre of Reece Clark, Conor MacDonald, Kevin Foley, guys who have been playing 3 and 4 years minor. Very serious hurlers. So when you can get the work rate through the team and into those guys as well, it does give you more chances and better opportunities to get scores, and they are able to take the scores then.
All through the forward line, and even a few lads on the bench to come into the forward line probably would have made a lot of other teams. And you know, Conor is a special talent in the fact that he, you know, as much for what he does as for what he does to the opposition. Like, they're worrying about him all the time, where maybe then to take the eye off like they did tonight. 2 of them came out to him for the ball that he flicked out to Reece, and no one followed Reece, you know. And we've guys that have intelligence to make the runs off him as much as anything, but what we need to keep doing is moving the ball around. And you know, we got a little bit selfish there in the second half, and every one of them were guilty of it, where they were going for shots and they weren't passing the ball to the guy in the better position. And you know, that's just not good enough, and that won't win a Leinster final for us. We were very good at it in the first half of moving the ball, and you know, we just don't want to get too greedy.
Liam, since 1996 we haven't had much success. What would you put that down to?
I suppose you've got to think carefully about how you say it. I just think we didn't have enough focus on what was needed to grow and develop the game of hurling afterwards. I know I remember saying at the end of 96, which should be confined to history, and you and I both would like that to happen, but that this was the beginning, or it wasn't an end. But in fairness, it wasn't really a beginning. We didn't really say, okay, what do we need to do to stay there, and what do we need to do to keep going forward from here? And we really didn't put in a plan, and we didn't follow it. And you know, if you don't do that, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and that's really what happened. And it's taken a long time, you know. So we didn't capitalise on our chance.
Yeah, and when you compare what Clare have done, they've won minor, they've won under 21, and they've won senior since their glory days of 95 and 97. Going back to the Dublin game, we hurled very well for very long periods. We did a lot of the hurling in the first half. We went in behind at half time. Things didn't go right in the second half. Did you pinpoint any particular area where things went wrong?
Yeah, I think everybody would know pretty well. I mean, first of all, you have to be honest and say we had a young and inexperienced team in the round, but we had a lot of experienced players as well, so that can't be used as a total excuse. Dublin were the better team in the day, no question about it. They're much more savvy. I think they disrupted Wexford with their game plan up front. They don't play a centre forward anymore, as most counties don't do. and they're trying to force you to kind of follow their pattern, and if you follow pattern A, they'll introduce pattern B. So a lot of teams have it well thought out, and if it works, it looks great. But we were caught with the movement of the Dublin forwards, and we were caught with their ability to pick off scores from 65 yards back into 45 yards, and in the modern game, you know, most players at that part of the field are able to pick off points from long range, as well as combining that with some goals as well. So, like, their point scoring was excellent, and we missed a lot of scores as well. Put that down to probably being a little bit over anxious. I was behind the goal, and you know, it's fair, and I think the players would agree that some of these shots were easy, and you know, it's a matter of just a little bit more confidence and a little bit more kind of commitment to do it. And maybe we had a disruption in the forward line that didn't work in our favour, that we thought might, but didn't work in our favour. So. But all in all, it's a good learning experience, and we did well against Dublin for the most part. But look, we're on the road, and let's hope we can keep going on the road.
Yeah, Dublin seemed to pick off their scores, their points a lot easier than Wexford. Wexford had to work a lot harder for their scores. Do you think that we need more points against Clare, or do you see goals, or how do you see it panning out?
Well, if you analyse the games since the end of the National League, or even from the quarter-final of the National League right through, if you do it and you work it all out, you need an average 29 points to win a game. You need an average 29 points to even draw a game. And after last Sunday with Kilkenny and Galway, that's probably raised to 30 points, because that's 31 points you needed to draw in that particular game. The stats don't lie. I mean, that's just the way the game is going. And you know, teams are mixing it up. If you can't defend 20 points, you can't stop 20 points being scored against you, which is an alternative. You can keep fellas down and the opposition down to score less than 20 points. Well, then you don't need as much scores. But you definitely need 29 at the current rate of play by everyone's performance standard. So it's a matter of analysing it and looking at it. And I think that that's absolutely vital to get that level of scoring, and teams have to deliver it, and have to set themselves up so to give themselves the opportunity to deliver it, or defend the other opposition, and I think it's a combination of both.
Okay, Clare in Ennis, first of all, how do you see it going? Do you think we have a realistic chance of going to Ennis and beating Clare?
If Longford can go to Derry in football, a county that hasn't won anything since the 1958 something league final, or thereabouts, if they can go to Derry and beat a team that got the Division 1 final and were beaten by Dublin and not overwhelmed, and if Longford are relegated to Division 4, if that can happen, you have to say anything is possible. So it is possible. You know, we'll start as rank outsiders. But listen, where would you want to be in hurling terms? Only playing the All-Ireland champions. And if it's their own home ground, there's a massive learning to be gained from that. And a huge experience that, you know, everyone talks about experience. You can't buy experience, you only can gain it on the field of play, as you well know. So I think it's a huge opportunity for Wexford. And I think if we go and see, this is a huge opportunity, let's go and have a cut at this crowd. Let's go and have a bloody go at them. But let's go with a plan. Let's go with a plan that we feel this is a good plan to counteract them. And I think they'll revert back to their All-Ireland final plan of last year, because I don't think they'll see us as major opposition. And I think Clare tried to make a lot of changes with their plan for the Cork game, because they felt that Cork will have read what they did last year, and so they did. But the plan that they brought in didn't work, so I think they might revert to their old plan. But sure, whatever plan they throw at us, that's the challenge for us to learn from it, and I think anything is possible, and let's go and have a real good cut-off. And it's a great opportunity.
I caught up with the senior footballers ahead of their clash with Dublin in the Leinster semi-final. Aidan, we're facing Dublin for the third time in four years. The last time the teams met, there was a 4-point victory to Dublin. How are the guys facing up for Sunday?
Well, look, it's obviously it's a different challenge. It's a different team we have, obviously. A number of our players from that last game against Dublin 2 years ago have since moved on, retired. I would say there are 6-7 changes at least. Also, obviously, the Dublin team has probably grown and progressed. In the meantime, they've won their All-Ireland. They have all of that confidence that comes from that and from winning the last 2 National League titles. And I suppose they're widely regarded as being the team that are setting the bar, setting the standard currently in Gaelic football. So it's obviously a huge challenge, but it's one that any player would relish.
There's been a lot of guys that left the Palin this year due to retirements and various other reasons, Graham, and that opens up spaces for some new talent to come through. Like, what's the mood in the camp going forward now to face the Dubs?
Very positive at the moment. I mean, Aidan would have brought in a lot of new lads this year, and they're really showing up well in training. And once they're getting their chances in the different challenge games, and even the game last, against Longford, Robert Dempsey got his first chance and he went very, very well. Unfortunately, he's after picking up a small bit of an injury at the moment, so he's be working hard to try to get back for the Dublin game. But I mean, if you have fellas there constantly, I mean, Owen Nolan, Simon Donoghue, John Hubbard, all new young lads coming in. It's tough losing the likes of Redmond Barry, David Murphy. They're experienced lads and they add a lot to the panel. But it's kind of the natural progression of any team. We're going to lose fellas and get new lads in. So it's great to see the new lads that are actually getting in here, training hard, and really bringing a nice buzz about training as well.
Just in relation to playing the Dubs, what do you think, Brian, are the key areas that we need to work on for Sunday? To give us the advantage in the game.
Yeah, one big area for us would be definitely getting goals. As Graham said, we're a team that need goals, and anytime we've played Dublin, it's been goals that has got us close to them. Over the last few years, Red Barry has scored a goal a game on Rory O'Carroll. Maybe that could be an area we're going to look at. Also, I suppose midfield. In any game, if you're not winning midfield, you have no hope. But Dublin have Michael Darmacawley there, somewhere where they would feel they're very strong. But that's somewhere we'd be looking to exploit. We've Dotty Waters. Anyone has seen Dotty play the last few years, he'll have no problem there against someone like Michael Darmacawley. So we'll be hitting him with every kick out, and we've no doubt that Dotty will win his fair share of possession. That will, lay the platform for us to drive on from.
You've moved into a new position, kind of out around the half-forward line this year with the team. How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's great to get back out there again. I played 2008-09. I played out around wing forward, and I was really enjoying my football. And then the last few years I've been inside, but it's great. It's like a new sense of life, just getting out around the middle and just having that free role maybe than being stuck in the corner, and you're getting on a lot more ball, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
Just in relation to the match day itself, how do you prepare in the morning? Like what do you do? What's the Brian Malone success?
Yeah, it's something that I've toyed around with a lot. Sometimes I like to get up early and go for a walk just to kind of get the laziness out of yourself. Then you'd have all the proper food that I suppose we'd be told to eat and all stuff. It's things that I would have been very finicky over, but the last year or two I've kind of just relaxed, and I've just I haven't thought about it a whole lot. I would have done all the mental preparation all the week coming up to the game, so I just like to just almost not think about it and just watch a DVD on the bus, have a bit of crack with the lads. You'd see other lads sitting there and they'd have their earphones on and they're just in their own little world, whereas I prefer just to just be as relaxed and not worry about the game and just kind of take it from there.
It's an amateur sport, but the bar is constantly raising to the level that you basically have professional athletes now playing football. How do you prepare the team to be at that level?
Yeah, I suppose it's amateur in word, but really, the effort that these lads put in is just phenomenal, and it's just the workload that's involved, from the gym sessions to the field sessions to the stats being sent on by email, videos being sent on. It's just and we must take into consideration and remember that all of these lads are working every day of the week. But it's just it's gone to a whole new level, and I suppose the only thing you can do is in relation to getting them to the level is keep encouraging them, keep at them. We have a very good team in place. Like Aidan has a great team in place with strength and conditioning, with Jason Moore in there, Dara on the stats, looking after the video, our physio team. Like everybody's working really hard to keep these lads at to have them in their peak condition when we need them.
Yeah, and just the big question then for Sunday. Any thoughts on the outcome?
Well, obviously there's one outcome we'd like. We'd be hoping to win, but I suppose our main goal for Sunday is that we perform. I think if we perform, if our 1 to 15 perform and our backroom team perform and everyone performs, I think we're in with a real chance, and that's all we can really hope for. And if the performance is good, we can look forward to the rest of the season.